Hi my dear readers, this is Simona. The previous video that I made a bit about David Icke, I was told that the sound was good, so that's what I did. I covered it in material, this microphone, and hopefully the sound will be good. In this video I'm going to read out the next set of Nisargadatta Maharaj quote. I hope I will find where I left reading out last time. Yes, I did. Okay. Now, all the endless arguments about the mind are produced by the mind itself for its own protection, continuation, and expansion. So when people ask, how is the reality started? Did this come first? Did the mind come first or the matter come first? And it's all, it doesn't lead to enlightenment. It's just the curiosity of the mind. So the mind always wants to maintain the mind. And even when people want to achieve liberation, they get stuck. And for example, information consumption, although they know everything that they need to do, but they keep reading books. So that's the mind maintaining the mind. It's the blank refusal to consider the convolution and convulsions of the mind that can take you beyond it. So also when people try to be mindful, yet the mind always tries to involve them in thoughts, yet if we ignore that but try to dwell in the gaps between the thoughts, we will be able to purify the mind, and this will then mirror our true being, because the mind itself cannot show us our true being, but it can mirror our true being. Like in this book, Nisargadatta Maharaj, the book I Am That, Nisargadatta Maharaj gives, for example, one example, which is that there is a sunlight, yet in the drop of water there is a reflection of it, but it's not the sunlight, it's the reflection of it. So that's how when we purify the mind, when we understand that we are awareness, that witness, that awareness is like the drop, in the drop, the reflection of the sunlight. But it's not who we really are, it's the reflection that we perceive through the mind. That's how Nisargadatta Maharaj explains that. Experience, however sublime, is not the real thing. By its very nature, it comes and goes, experience. Self-realization is not an acquisition. It's more in the nature of understanding. Once arrived at, it cannot be lost. On the other hand, he told basically some people, he would say that some people, like were people coming to him telling that I experienced this kind of enlightened state, yet it was momentary, and now I no longer, I have only the memory of it. And Nisargadatta would explain that this wasn't enlightenment, it was some kind of sublime experience, but not enlightenment, because once that liberation happens, it cannot be reversed. Consciousness is changeful, flowing, undergoing transformation from moment to moment. Do not hold on to consciousness and its content, because he explains that we are awareness, we are not consciousness, but through consciousness everything is seen. But he also told in another place in the book that if we see consciousness like some kind of disease that we cannot switch off, and then we go beyond it, we understand that this is actually not even us. Awareness is us. This consciousness, being conscious of everything, is not us. So when we go beyond it, then we can understand our true being. So it's in consciousness always changes take place. We observe the world and it's always changing. Yet that which is changeful is not our true nature. Try to perpetuate a flash of insight or a burst of happiness is destructive of what it wants to preserve. What comes must go. The permanent is beyond all comings and goings. Go to the root of all experience, to the sense of being beyond being and not being lies the immensity of the real. Try and try again. So he says that it's destructive to continue holding on to some experiences that we liked, but we should, whatever experiences come, if they are even really amazing, we should let them go. When they go, they should be let go of, and then our purpose should be to try to get to the real, which is unchanging and which we always search for in different experiences and pleasures, but it's actually who we really are that we are in search of, but we can't find it in the world. If only they go deeply into the fact of being and discover the vastness and the glory to which I am is the door, and cross the door and go beyond, their life will be full of happiness and light. Believe me, the effort needed is as nothing when compared to the discoveries arrived at. The deepening and broadening of self-awareness is the royal way. Call it mindfulness or witnessing or just attention. It's for all. None is unripe for it and none can fail. Just by being aware, just observing, because observation, if we don't get identified with thoughts, but even if thoughts go on in the mind, if we just observe everything that's happening, Nisargadatta Maharaj says that it's cleansing the mind. And the same is, for example, told by Goenka, the teacher of Vipassana, that awareness is like mind is like a dirty cloth, and through awareness we wash it until it becomes white. You are accustomed to think of yourselves as bodies having consciousness, that you just cannot imagine consciousness as having bodies. Once you realize that bodily existence is but a state of mind, a movement in consciousness, that the ocean of consciousness is infinite and eternal, and that when in touch with consciousness you are the witness only, you will be able to withdraw beyond consciousness altogether. And for example, what personally me helps to understand that I'm not the body is, like I told before in several other videos, that if I think of something deeply, then body is not there. I become identified with the scene that I see. For example, if I'm planning something, I am not aware of the body. I'm fully in the thought, of planning something, doing something. So the body disappears as though. Or when I'm dreaming, where is the body? I'm fully identified with the dream. So that can also help others to get to understand that we are actually not the bodies, but we are just awareness, and then it attaches to things, to the phenomena of this reality, and then we identify with that, and we think ourselves to be that. Be aware of being conscious and seek the source of consciousness. Be aware that you're a conscious being, that you're conscious of everything that's happening around you, and seek the source of that consciousness. That is all. Very little can be conveyed in words. It is the doing, as I tell you, that will bring light, not my telling you. The means do not matter much. It's the desire, the urge, the earnestness that count. And he also explains that either there is an easy way of getting liberated and a hard way. The easy way is to believe what he says, that you're not the body, that you are awareness, and just keep dwelling on that thought that I am actually awareness. I'm not the body. I cannot be what I perceive, what I witness. So this is the easy way, and that's the way that he used to get liberated, because he fully believed in what his teacher told him, in what his guru told him, that he is not the body. And then he got liberated after 3 years. Or the hard way of getting liberated is to discover yourself through the mind, that through your own research, through the observation of the mind, that you're not the body. Just watch the world, as he says, watch the mind, just totally focus on that, and try to go beyond, try to focus on the witness and then go beyond that. So just focus on witnessing, be always aware, and focus on that source of awareness, and this eventually will show you the truth. Learn to separate yourself from the image and the mirror. Keep on remembering. I am neither the mind nor its ideas. Do it patiently and with conviction, and you will surely come to the direct vision of yourself as the source of being, knowing, loving, eternal, all-embracing, all-pervading. You are the infinite focused in a body. Now you see the body only, try earnestly, and you will come to see the infinite only. So if you keep trying to understand that the mind is not who you are, but see it as external, then you will not identify with it, and it will help you to awaken. Either you remain forever hungry and thirsty, longing, searching, grabbing, holding, ever losing and sorrowing, or go out wholeheartedly in search of the state of timeless perfection, to which nothing can be added, from which nothing taken away. In it all desires and fears are absent, not because they were given up, but because they have lost their meaning. So the entire world is searching for happiness and pleasures and everything that they do, yet that happiness is actually ourselves. So if we try to search it outside of us, we will become even more miserable. There is nothing to do, just be. Do nothing, be. No climbing mountains and sitting in caves. I do not even say be yourself, since you do not know yourself. Just be. Having seen that you are neither the outer world of perceivables nor the inner world of thinkables, that you are neither body nor mind, just be. Just relax into being, and then people see, but we will have to work, we will have to eat, And he said that doing will happen by itself. Don't think yourself to be a doer, just be. And then when the body needs something, it will do it perfectly. At the root of all desire and fear is the feeling of not being what you are. Just as a dislocated joint pains only as long as it's all self-concern. What is that? It's out of shape and is just as a dislocated joint pains only as long as it's out of shape and is forgotten as soon as it's set right, so is all self-concern a symptom. It's a symptom of mental distortion, which disappears as soon as one is in normal state. Oh, this is so powerful. If we fear, if there is uneasiness in our minds, that's a symptom that something is wrong with us. And when we get into our natural state, liberation, that will never be the case again, that there is some kind of unease at the back of the mind, because we will be healthy again. How can I just be? Changes are inevitable. Maharaj answers, changes are inevitable in the changeful, but you are not subject to them. You are the changeless background against which changes are perceived. Of course, the self based on memory is momentary, but such self demands unbroken continuity behind it. You know from experience that there are gaps when yourself is forgotten. What brings it back to life? What wakes you up in the morning? There must be some constant factor bridging the gaps in consciousness. Like, how can we come back the same person from dreams? And when we lost ourselves in the mind, then we come back. There is continuity, but it's not in the experiences because they are discontinuous. But there is something that never changes, and that's what we really are, this background where everything happens, the silent background. Sometimes Maharaj calls it void. There must be some constant factor bridging the gaps in consciousness. If you watch carefully, you will find that when your daily consciousness is in flashes with gaps, that even your daily consciousness is in flashes with gaps intervening all the time. And it's true, when you are mindful, you understand that there are gaps in consciousness. Yet if you don't meditate, if you're not mindful, you may think everything is very consistent, but it's actually not. That's why he always says, investigate, watch your mind, so that you understand that this world is inconsistent. What is in the gaps? What can there be out your real being? What is that? What can there be out your real being that is timeless? Mind and mindlessness are one to it. Even in unreal, there is a touch of reality. That's the student that's telling this. And he answers, yes, the reality you impart to it by taking it to be real. So we give this world the sense of reality because we're involved with it. We are involved in it. We are focused on it. That's why it appears to be real. It's because we are real. We are giving reality to it. Having convinced yourself, you are bound by your conviction. When the sun shines, colors appear. When it sets, they disappear. Where are the colors without the light? By desiring, you take the shape of your desires. When no desires remain, you revert to your natural state. That's why he's telling always that you should get rid of desires and fears to really understand your nature, because if you are stuck in that state, you're imbalanced. You will never be able to find yourself. But when you become at peace, then you will be able, the mind will be able to mirror your true being. The total is open and available, but you will not take it. You're attached to the little person you think yourself to be. Your desires are narrow, your ambitions petty. After all, without a center of perception, where would be the manifested? Unperceived, the manifested is as good as the unmanifested. And you are the perceiving point, the non-dimensional source of all dimensions. Know yourself as the total. Because sometimes people would say, Maharaj, please give me enlightenment. And he said, you can have it now. You can just understand that you're not this body, but you are the source of all that is. Yet you will not take it because you're attached to your desires, you're involved in life. And if you have any desire of the world, you will not be able to pay full attention to that which you really are. But when you get rid of all the desires, when you understand the nature of the world, that it cannot satisfy you, then wholeheartedly you pay attention to your real being, and then you understand who you really are. All possession is bondage. Freedom comes through renunciation. You create the world and then worry about it. Becoming selfish makes you weak. If you think you have the strength and courage to desire, it's because you are young and inexperienced. Invariably, the object of desire destroys the means of acquiring it, and then itself withers away. The object of desire destroys the means of acquiring it, and then itself withers away. That's how the world is spending their days. People are chasing that which destroys them. be it if they are addicted to sex or alcohol, they keep consuming that substance until they are destroyed. So everything that is pleasurable for us, for normal beings, like unawakened worldly beings, actually eventually destroys them. It's all for the best because it teaches you to shun desire like poison. And yes, there will come a stage in self-improvement where you will have no desires, and then you will be just happy with yourself, at peace with yourself, and that's close. That means that the person is close to liberation. So that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed the quotes, and I'm sure that I will make another video with the next set of these wonderful quotes from Nisargadatta Maharaj. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Take care.